for joining us again for FCCAA's Food for Thought. Today I'm joined by Marlene, who heads up our Experience Works program. Today we're going to be making some pork tenderloin and chili Thai sauce with vegetables over sticky rice, and we're going to learn a little bit about Experience Works. So, what is Experience Works?
Experience Works is a program that hires youth ages 16 through 24 and places them in small businesses and nonprofits within Fayette County. But Experience Works actually pays the wages and helps support the program. The youth get a meaningful work experience at various sites, and they are supervised there.
Great. So I'm going to go ahead and start cooking while we continue to talk about this for a little bit. The first thing I'm going to do is get the rice on. Rice is one of those things that's very simple to make, but people way overcomplicate it. So what you want to do is you want to get 2 cups of water to every 1 cup of rice. So I have 1 cup of rice here. 2 cups of water is already boiling. I did put a tablespoon of butter in there that is optional. You don't have to. So we're just going to go ahead and dump this in there and give it a quick stir. Lid on, and we're going to reduce the heat to a low simmer. And you don't have to touch it again for 20 minutes. All right, next we're going to move on to our pork. So Marlene, with Experience Works, what are the age restrictions? Are there any age restrictions?
Yeah, as I said, they should be 16 to 24. They actually need to be juniors or seniors in high school if they are still in high school. If they have graduated or withdrawn from school, they can be up to the age of 24.
Oh, okay. That's great. I'm just cutting this in about 1/2-inch pieces. Being that this is a stir fry, there's several ways to do this. We're going to start this in the skillet. We're going to brown it and then take it out and cook our vegetables. And I'll cut it down to a little bit smaller bite-sized portions then. So, but I just have a skillet on behind me with butter that's getting a little too brown. And we're just going to put this in here and sear both sides. Now we're just going to let this cook on both sides. Like I said, sear it, bring the temperature up, get it almost done, and we'll finish it off with the vegetables. The easiest way to tell, and we'll take a look at this in a little bit, but as the natural juices rise up and out, that's when you're going to want to flip it. And then when they rise back through again is when we'll take it off. If you were cooking beef, just for reference, that would be a perfect medium rare when those juices come through on the second side. And change our cutting boards out here. And get ready for the vegetables. So you mentioned that it's nonprofits and local companies, and they do get paid?
Yes, the youth actually make $13 an hour, and they can work for up to 210 hours.
So they get all that experience and they get paid for it?
Correct, yes.
That is a pretty good deal.
And for the most part, we try to really place youth in something of interest with them. So if they have an interest maybe in children, we would put them somewhere, either a child care center, or we would put them with an after-school program or something to give them.
So this can carry over into their career.
Correct. It's almost like job shadowing, not really, but it kind of can be at times.
Like a paid apprenticeship almost.
Sort of, yeah.
That's great. So, and do you have people enrolled for this year already?
We do have some applications that are coming in. We are accepting them, obviously. You can call me. We'll give all that information, I'm sure, at the end.
Great.
But yeah, we're starting to get some applications in now. The program runs up until Thanksgiving, November. So they need to get their 210 hours in prior to that.
Just going to flip this pork real quick. You can see how that side's seared. You can see how the natural juices in here are just starting to come up through. That's what we're looking for. And while we get this side started, So what are some of the work sites that, do you know of any of them, or?
Yeah, so I have some contracts already this year. Site work sites have been determined, and we always try to do something with our local food bank. They can help with that program. They actually help at our senior center with the Meals on Wheels program.
Which that's the kitchen we're in now.
Yeah, exactly. And they help bag, and they can even help deliver with the drivers to the senior program if maybe they have an interest in that. Or they can help with the activities that the seniors have. They love to call bingo.
And the seniors love bingo. It's one of our
And
most
they
popular
love bingo.
evenings here.
Yeah, yeah. So I always tell them there's a good chance they will be calling bingo at some point during the summer. We also have maintenance positions. So if there's someone that wants to work outside, they prefer to be painting, cutting grass, maybe even fixing small repairs on properties, we can put them with the maintenance department. We have one up at Laurel Business Institute. They've been in our program site for years, and the youth really enjoy that because they learn some hands-on basic plumbing type things and stuff like that.
That's great.
Yeah, we've had everything. We've had veterinarians' offices be a site. We had an engineering firm be a site.
I have a call out to a local veterinarian to see if we can get you in this year. Bill, if you're watching, please call me back.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, it's a very varied program. They can be placed anywhere. All youth make the same amount of money. They all work the same amount of hours, but their job duties will vary depending on what they're capable of, what their interests are, and what availability I have for them.
Great. So, all right. As you can see here, we have some red peppers, some orange, or some yellow peppers, some carrots. We're just gonna chop some of this broccoli up a little bit finer here, and I'm gonna get this pork off here in a moment. And we're gonna start our vegetables. So Marlene, how long have you been doing this program?
I've been doing this program about 5 years now.
Okay. So now you do some other things at the agency as well.
I do.
What else? I know you're at White Swan a couple days a week.
Yeah, I actually work with teenagers and I work with seniors. So
one extreme to the other.
Yeah. So we do, and I've actually used some of my youth to actually go to the sites and help me if I have a special project or an activity going on with seniors. And currently I'm working with an OVR program that's doing career exploration. So it kind of ties into the whole thought of what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want your summer job to be? And how can it maybe help you in your future career?
Yeah, and that's great. It gives kids that chance to get some working experience and see what the job field is like before committing to something that they may or may not like.
My tagline is, experience works may not tell you what you want to do for the rest of your life, but oftentimes it tells you what you don't want to do for the rest of your life. So that's
almost more important.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and start adding the vegetables in here. We're just going to cook them in there was a little bit of butter in there and the natural juices from the pork. Sharpen that knife too much. Now I am going to go ahead and cover this just so it builds up some steam, and you want to steam those vegetables a little bit. They'll cook a little better through, and they'll cook a little quicker that way as well. So come back over here and finish up with the onion. Now when the kids are there, what are the worksite supervisor's responsibilities?
Okay, so if a small business or a nonprofit thinks they could use a youth this summer to assist them, they would get in touch with me and we would complete a contract. And their role is to give the youth a meaningful work experience, teach them. They do help with some of the payroll process, but for the most part, I handle the payroll process. So they just, make sure that they get things turned into me so I can get them paid on time. They can provide them with additional training. Some of my youth have actually had some OSHA training or some other trainings. Maybe they needed to do the job or work they were doing there.
So they get some certificates that are
could
going to follow them wherever they go.
Absolutely.
So I left these onions in a little bit larger chunks. Being that it is a stir fry style, we want to make them so that we're able to get a hold of them. We can break them up here a little bit. All right, we're gonna let this simmer down a little bit, and when we come back up, we'll get the pork and put it back in and start to put this together. Hey everyone, welcome back to FCAA's Food for Thought. I'm here with Marlene. We're making sweet Thai chili pork stir fry. We're talking about Experience Works with your youth. It's that time of year where they're getting back to work. It's a great program where they can get paid to kind of see what careers are out there for them. We talked a little bit about their eligibility and what that takes. I'm going to cut up the pork, but while I'm doing that, why don't you tell us a little bit if there's any employers out there who thinks these youth might help them out, whether it's a lawn care business or, like I said, you have a ton of different businesses that help you out. What do they need to do to become a member? Okay,
first off, the business needs to be inside of Fayette County. They need to be a Fayette County business. They need to be either a small business, so we don't go to like the big chains or anything like that. Or they could be an agency. We've placed at several local social service agencies that may need help through the summer. And if they're interested, the best way to do it is actually to call me. And I can email them the contract and they can fill that out. If they have questions as they're doing it, or I can come out to their site, help them with that process. But it's a pretty straightforward, simple contract between Fayette County Community Action Agency and the site that covers all the ins and outs of the program and how the youth gets paid and the duties of each party.
And now they're not responsible for the wages, correct? That comes from here.
We handle all the time cards. They will sign off just because they're at different sites. The youth are at different sites. But yeah, we handle payroll here. God forbid there were an emergency or any type of injury to the youth, we handle that as well. So there's really no liability to the business at all. The only thing they have to do is provide a meaningful work experience for the kids.
Great. We're going to move over here as I add the pork. Give this a quick stir. So how many youth total can you take?
So I can accept 15 youth that are currently in grades 11 or 12 that are high school youth, and 15 that are considered out of school youth, which would be your 19 through 24-year-olds.
That means our rice is done.
Great.
So we're just going to turn that off and move it off the burner for now. And that's all in there. So we're just going to stir this together. Like I said, that pork was about 90% done. We're just going to let these flavors meld together a little bit. Now, you can make your own sweet Thai chili sauce, which I was going to do. It's cornstarch, oyster sauce, fish sauce, red pepper paste, but I couldn't find all the ingredients. And then I realized there are about 80 companies who make it already prepared in the bottle. We won't show which one this is because I don't know how that works with copyrights and sponsorships and stuff like that. We're just gonna give it a pretty healthy dose. Stir that all together. You want to get everything pretty evenly coated. You don't want it crazy douse dripping wet. We'll let that cook off for a minute or two. So did you give me your phone number, Marlene?
I did not. So the best way to reach me, as I said, is by phone or email, but my phone number is 724-437-6050, and my extension is 3282.
Great. And again, that's especially if there's any small businesses or counties, businesses out there that would like to, I won't use the word foster the youth, but
Yeah, and you can have up to
employ
4
them.
youth at your site. So if you need it up to 4, you can have up to 4.
Great. All right, well, this is pretty much ready. The rice is ready. So we're gonna take a quick break. I'll get everything plated up and we'll be right back. Welcome back again to Fayette County Community Action Agency's Food for Thought. I'm here with Marlene in the Experience Works program. Our sweet Thai chili pork stir fry is done with the sticky rice. The sticky rice didn't turn out quite as sticky as I wanted it, but it should still be edible. So Marlene, we talked about the eligibility and how the employers can get involved. Mm-hmm. What do the kids need to do if they want to become a part of this? How do they apply?
So if they are a high school student, a junior or senior, they would contact me and I would give them a paper application. They could stop at the office and pick it up. We're on the 2nd floor of the Family Service Center. I can email it to them, mail it to them, whatever's going to work for them. They would need to fill out that application. If they are under the age of 18, a parent or guardian would need to sign off.
Okay.
There is also some documentation that's required to come along with the application, basic stuff. We're talking a work permit if they're under 18, the most recent report card, a birth certificate, some other items, and I would review all that with them to make sure they turned all that in as well. If they are out of school youth, 19 through 24, post-high school, they could also still call me, and there's a referral form that they can either pick up again or I can email to them. And they would need to call the local CareerLink office, the number's on there, and they would take their documents there and kind of complete the same process there.
Okay, just through CareerLink.
Yeah.
And then if they are selected, there's an orientation process they need to go through?
Yes, so once the application is approved, I get a notification, I call them in, we do basic onboarding. They basically become an employee of Community Action. So all of the processes that we go through, we review our basic, safety and payroll and things like that with them. And then I do another orientation at their site just so they get to meet their supervisor, kind of feel comfortable with all of us together, know the roles that everybody plays in the program.
Perfect. So if anyone is interested out there, whether it's a parent for their youth, the youth themselves, or someone who would like to employ them, please give Marlene a call. Again, 724-437-6050, extension 3282. So you brave enough to try this?
I am excited. This is one of my favorites, so I'm pretty excited.
We're going to try this and see how it turned out. Again, as usual, we will have links to the recipes up on the Facebook page, I believe. And there should be a QR code on the show. It's good? It's edible?
Oh, it's more than edible. It's good. Very good.
I'll take it. Thank you guys again for joining us, and we'll see you next month with a new recipe and someone new from our staff.